It's the same pattern every month. The paycheck lands, for about 15 seconds you feel okay, maybe even a little hopeful. Then the bills start hitting. Rent, utilities, groceries, that subscription you forgot to cancel, car insurance, phone bill. And just like that, the money's gone. You check your balance, and there's barely anything left. Again. And you start wondering what's wrong with you. Why can't you figure this out? Why does everyone else seem to have it together, except you? Here's what I need you to hear right now. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. And you're definitely not bad with money. You were never taught the rules of the game. And here's the harder truth. Most people around you haven't been taught either, so they can't help you learn what they don't know. But today, that changes. Because what you're about to discover isn't another budgeting tip or a side hustle pitch. It's something deeper. It's the reason some people seem to build wealth effortlessly, while others work twice as hard and stay stuck. If this feels like it's describing your life, you're in the right place. Let me show you something most people never see. There are two completely different games being played with money. And the game you're playing determines everything about your financial future. Not your intelligence, not your willpower, not how hard you work, just which game you're in. Most of us are playing Game A. In Game A, the rules are simple. You earn money, you spend it, you repeat. Whatever's left over at the end of the month, if anything, that's what you save. But here's the problem. There's usually nothing left. Because Game A is designed that way. It's a survival loop. Earn, spend, survive. Earn, spend, survive. You're constantly running just to stay in place. And you're not failing at Game A. You're actually playing it perfectly. The issue is that Game A doesn't lead to wealth. It leads to exhaustion. It leads to checking your bank account before buying groceries. It leads to that pit in your stomach when an unexpected bill arrives. It leads to feeling like you're doing everything right, but still getting nowhere. Now let me show you Game B. Game B has completely different rules. In Game B, you earn money, and before you spend anything, you pay yourself first. That money gets automated into places you don't touch. It happens before you see the money, before you can spend it, before you can talk yourself out of it. Then you protect what you built with a buffer for emergencies, not for fun, not for vacations, for actual emergencies. Then, and only then, you start growing it slowly and intentionally. No get-rich-quick schemes, no crypto gambling, just boring, steady growth. And whatever's left after all that, you spend guilt-free. No shame, no anxiety, because you've already taken care of future you. Let me say that again because it's important. In Game A, saving is what happens if there's money left over, which means it rarely happens. In Game B, saving happens first, always, no matter what, even if it's just $10. That's the entire difference. That's the whole game. And here's what nobody tells you. Rich people aren't playing Game A and winning. They stopped playing Game A completely. They switched games years ago. The question isn't, why am I bad at this? The question is, which game am I playing? And if you're in Game A right now, I promise you, it's not your fault. You were placed in that game without anyone explaining there was another option. So why is almost everyone playing Game A? Why does it feel like the only game that exists? Because Game A is the default. It's what you're automatically enrolled in the moment you start earning money. Nobody teaches you Game B in school. You learn algebra, you memorize historical dates, you dissect a frog, but managing money, building wealth, protecting yourself financially, not on the syllabus. So you step into adulthood and society immediately teaches you the rules of Game A. Spend on what's new, keep up with everyone else, show people you're doing well, buy the upgrade, get the better car, move to the nicer apartment. And it's not just advertising, it's everywhere. It's your coworkers talking about their new purchases. It's your family asking why you're still using that old phone.
It's the entire economy built around you spending every dollar you make. Game A is profitable, not for you, for everyone selling you things. Here's what makes it worse. Game A punishes beginners the hardest. When you're just starting out, when you have the least experience and the smallest safety net, that's when Game A hits you with the most expensive lessons. Your car breaks down and you don't have an emergency fund, so you put it on a credit card. Now you're not just paying for the repair, you're paying interest on the repair for the next 6 months. Your phone breaks and the new model just came out. Everyone around you is upgrading, so you finance it. Monthly payments that seem small but add up to hundreds more than the phone costs. Someone in your family needs help, and you want to help. You should help. But now your own progress gets pushed back another few months, and you feel guilty for even thinking about that. This is why Game A feels impossible, because it is. It's designed to keep you in place. The moment you start making progress, something happens that pulls you back. And every time that happens, you blame yourself. You think you're not disciplined enough, not smart enough, not focused enough. But the truth is simpler and harder. You're playing a game where the rules are rigged against you from the start. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop asking, why am I bad with money? Start asking, what game am I playing? Because the moment you realize you're in the wrong game, you can make a different choice. Not tomorrow, not next month, right now. Rich people don't try harder at Game A. They don't have more discipline or better genetics or some special money gene you're missing. They play a different game. That's it. That's the whole secret. And I know that might sound too simple. You might be thinking, it can't be that easy. And you're right, it's not easy, but it is simple. The hard part isn't understanding the difference. The hard part is believing you're allowed to switch, believing you deserve to play Game B, believing that someone like you, with your background, your income, your situation, can actually build wealth. Let me tell you something you need to hear. You are allowed to switch games, right now, today. This doesn't require permission, it doesn't require higher income, it doesn't require waiting until everything is perfect. The moment you decide to play Game B, progress becomes visible. Not immediately, not dramatically, but consistently. And here's what happens that nobody talks about. Your identity starts to shift before your bank account does. You start seeing yourself differently, not as someone who's bad with money, but as someone who's learning a new game, someone who's building something, someone who has a plan. That shift, that quiet change in how you see yourself, that's where real transformation starts. Okay, so how do you actually switch games? What are the real, practical steps that move you from Game A to Game B? I'm going to give you 4 rules. These aren't complicated, but they're powerful if you actually follow them. Rule number 1. Pay yourself first, even tiny amounts. This is the foundation of Game B. Before bills, before groceries, before anything else, you pay yourself first. And I don't mean save what's left over. I mean take money off the top and put it somewhere you can't easily touch. How much? Honestly, it doesn't matter as much as you think. $10 counts, $20 counts, $50 counts. I know some finance guru told you to save 20% of your income, and if you can do that, great. But if you can't, don't let that stop you from starting. Because here's what matters more than the amount: consistency. Saving $50 once doesn't change anything. Saving $10 every single week for a year builds momentum. It builds identity. It builds proof that you can do this. Game B isn't about perfection. It's about pattern. It's about showing up for yourself repeatedly until it becomes automatic. Rule number 2, automate before you see the money. This is the difference between intention and action. In Game A, you intend to save, you plan to save,
You're definitely going to save this month, but then life happens and the money gets spent because it was sitting there available. In Game B, the money moves automatically on payday before you check your balance, before you can make a decision about it. You set it up once, then it happens without you. Open a separate savings account, not at the same bank where you do your regular banking, somewhere that takes an extra step to access, and set up an automatic transfer every time you get paid, even if it's small, even if it feels pointless at first. Because what you're building here isn't just a savings account. You're building a system that works when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you don't feel motivated. Motivation fades. Systems stay. Rule number 3, protect your progress. Here's what happens in Game A. You save a little bit of money, then something unexpected happens, car trouble, medical bill, family emergency, and that money you saved, gone, back to zero. And it feels like you're being punished for trying. Game B protects against this, not perfectly, but intentionally. The first goal isn't to invest, it's not to grow wealth, it's to build a buffer, a small emergency fund that exists only for actual emergencies. Start with $500. That's the first milestone. Not $5,000, not 3 months of expenses, just $500 sitting in an account you don't touch unless something genuinely urgent happens. This buffer changes everything, because the next time something unexpected happens, and it will, you don't go backwards, you don't erase your progress, you handle it and keep moving forward. And here's the other part of protection, avoiding lifestyle inflation. Every time your income goes up, Game A tells you to spend more, nicer apartment, better car, more expensive habits. Game B says increase your savings first, then, if there's room, increase your spending, in that order. And rule number 4, grow after stability. Notice I said after, not during, after. In Game A, people try to invest and build wealth before they have stability. They're still in survival mode, but trying to play growth strategies, and it doesn't work because one unexpected expense wipes out everything. Game B is patient. First, you build the habit of paying yourself. Then you build the buffer. Then, only then, do you start thinking about growth. And growth in Game B is boring. It's not exciting. It's not day trading or crypto or the hot stock your cousin told you about. It's low-cost index funds. It's retirement accounts with employer matches. It's letting time and compound interest do the heavy lifting while you focus on living your life. This isn't sexy. It's not going to impress anyone at a party, but it works, quietly, consistently, over years and decades. Game B isn't about getting rich quick. It's about getting stable first, then wealthy eventually. Let me tell you what progress looks like in Game B. Because if you're expecting something dramatic, you're going to be disappointed. The early stages feel boring. Sometimes they feel pointless. You save $20 a week for a month. You check your account. There's $80 there. And you think, this is it? This is what everyone talks about? Yes, that's it. That's the progress. Because here's what actually matters. You did something different. You played a different game for 30 days, and you have proof. The first wins are invisible. They're not about the money. They're about the pattern. It's the fact that you didn't touch that money when you wanted to. It's the fact that you kept going even when it felt small. It's the shift happening in your brain that says, I'm someone who saves money now. After 3 months, you might have $300. After 6 months, maybe $700. These numbers feel small compared to your rent or your debt or your big financial goals. But something else is happening. Your confidence is growing before your money does. You start feeling less anxious about money. Not because you're rich, but because you have options now. Small options, but options. You check your bank account, and instead of dread, you feel okay, maybe even proud. That's progress, real progress. the kind that lasts. And here's what happens over time if you stick with it. The numbers start becoming noticeable. Not impressive, just noticeable. After a year, you might have $1,000 saved, and you realize that's the first time in your adult life you've had $1,000 that wasn't immediately spoken for. After 2 years, maybe it's $3,000, and suddenly you're handling emergencies without panic. You're making financial decisions from a place of choice instead of desperation. This is what Game B builds. Not excitement, not drama, just steady, quiet progress that compounds over time. Here's the final thing I want you to understand. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to want it more or try harder. You need to be in the right game. Because motivation fades, it always does. You feel inspired after watching a video or reading a book. You make promises to yourself. You're definitely going to change this time. And then a week goes by, life gets busy, stress happens, and the motivation is gone. Game A runs on motivation, which is why it fails, because motivation is temporary. Game B runs on systems, and systems work whether you feel motivated or not. The game does the heavy lifting, not you. You set up the automatic transfer once, then it happens every week without you thinking about it. That's the game working for you. You build the buffer once, then it sits there protecting you from emergencies. That's the game working for you. You choose low-cost investments once, then they grow slowly over years while you focus on your life. That's the game working for you. This is why switching games matters more than trying harder, because you can't willpower your way through a rigged game. You can only choose to play a different one. And once you're in Game B, progress becomes inevitable. Not fast, not glamorous, but inevitable. So here's what I want you to do. Stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking there's something wrong with you. Stop comparing yourself to people who started in Game B while you were stuck in Game A. You're not behind, you're not failing, you're just in the wrong game. And today, you can switch. Start small. Pay yourself first this week. $10, $20, whatever you can do. Automate it if possible. Protect it fiercely. Don't wait until you earn more. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait for permission. Just switch games today. Because the life you want, the financial stability you're looking for, the peace of mind you deserve, it's not about becoming a different person. It's about playing a different game. Subscribe if you want more calm, realistic money videos that actually make sense. No hype, no hustle culture, just real strategies for real people. I'll see you in the next one.